Hey guys, it's Brenda Santos with Menson Studios. So I'm going to show you how to make some really cool yard signs to create a yard greeting. It's one of the most popular products in our area, so it's really easy and it's actually a lot of fun to be creative and help those people celebrate while they're kind of stuck inside during this COVID craziness. Alright, so stay tuned for details. Thanks for joining me for my tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make individual letters to create what we call a yard greeting. They're really cool, super popular in our area. We are super busy with that, and the COVID, because people aren't able to go outside, they want a way to kind of acknowledge a birthday or an event, and this is perfect. It's really cute. You can get really creative and make some really awesome things. So you don't need a whole lot of materials. You're going to need what's called a hot knife. This is basically a X-Acto blade that heats up. It kind of, I don't know if you can see that. It's got a blade on it. It does plug into an electric outlet. So you can find this on like an Amazon. We bought this particular one at Michael's. You're definitely going to want extra blades because as you're cutting through that material, they do tend to get dull pretty quickly. This is Coroplast. We use this because it stays, I don't know if you can see that, moved too fast. You can get that again at like a Michael's, hobby shop, art supply store, but the best place to get it is if you can find a plastic fabricator. They usually will have those, but you a lot of times have to buy in bulk. So it really just depends on how many signs you're making. Of course, you don't have to use Coroplast. You're just going to need a material that one is going to stand up to the application that you're going to be doing. So if you're going to be doing something outside, you definitely want something durable that's not going to blow over. And two, you're going to want to make sure that it's easy to cut because you are going to be cutting these by hand. So you want to make sure that you're able to cut cleanly through it. So if you did like a metal, you would need to be able to really cut a clean metal edge. Okay, but if you have the machines, hey, go for it. If you are doing something inside, you could definitely use something like a foam core or even a poster board. So again, it's all going to be dependent on what you're going to be using the signs for. The material that we use is a self-adhesive vinyl that's printable. We print ours on a Roland Versacam printer. So if you don't have one of those, don't freak out. We can definitely, we sell the sticker material or we sell it printed. So if you need individual letters, you can certainly get that from us. I will put a link in the description below in the video, but certainly going to show you how to make your own. Again, you can also use, what's it called, sticker material, like the sticker vinyl that you find for the sign shops. It's basically like HTV. It's just designed to go on like windows and outside applications. So again, there's multiple ways that you can do this. So I'm just going to show you the process and you can take it from there. Okay, so let's get started on the actual tutorial. This tutorial is not designed to be a kind of graphic design tutorial. It's just going to show you the basics on how to create the letters to be able to get them to print and to cut. Okay. So what I did is I chose a font. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of this font. It's been in my thing forever and I've already converted it, and I'm sorry I don't have the particular name. But when choosing a font, what you're going to want to do is find something that's really big and chunky because you're going to want to be able to see that in the yard. So the first step I did was, let me tell you what I'm using. I'm in Corel Draw 2020. I do have the latest version just because I subscribe to the kind of the monthly subscription, so I always get the latest updates. You can definitely use older versions. The steps may be a little different in finding them, but they're all going to kind of be the same thing. Okay, you can also use any of the Adobe products. I use Illustrator all the time. I just happen to design in this just because it's faster for me because this is where they all are, and I can change colors quickly. So again, you can use what works best for you. Everybody has different processes that works for them and saves them time. Really, the name of the game is to save you some time so that way you can get to doing other projects and making some more money, right? So here we go. Okay, so what I did is I took the font. This is already in a curves. I don't know if you can see that. That's not like typable. I don't know if that's a word. But so all I did is I welded that. So if you're new to design, I welded that and made it a kind of an outline. So this is actually, if you were to cut this like in your Cricut or like your Graphtec, like what we have, it would actually cut the contour, okay? But for these purposes, we're actually going to print, so that's really not relevant other than how we're going to make outlines. And the way to do that is we are going to go to the effects, what is it, right here? And we're going to go down to contour, okay? I already have, it pops this up right here. I already had it on my desktop set up, so this is what it is. You're going to get this menu. So you're going to select your letter, and you're going to select the outside contour. You're going to want to do one step, and for this particular one, let me see my notes because I usually do it automatically, so I don't remember them offhand. Okay, yeah, so we're going to do 3/4 of an inch, so 0.75. You're going to want to make sure that your corners are mitered. Again, if you want rounded corners or any of these beveled corners, you know, it's your design, you do what you want to do. But this is how I do it. Okay, you're going to want to leave this linear contour here, set here. The one thing I do change is I make my outline a light gray, and I will tell you why here in a second. I don't add a fill because I'm going to go back and match these colors, and it's just a pain. So it's easier to do it the other way. Okay, so then I'm going to hit the apply button, and what that's going to do is it's going to pop this outline here, right? Okay, now it's changed our size, right? Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. The size of the letter is a 20 by 24 is the final size. So I'm going to go back and change that because it did add a 3/4 of an inch all the way around, so it's going to make your letter bigger, right? So now we're going to resize that back to 20 by 24. So my computer's a little slow. I don't know why it does that. That's kind of funky. It's always done that, like 0.0 whatever. But anyway, so it's close enough because obviously if you're in the yard, that 0.008 is not going to be significant enough to change your size, okay? There we go. Okay, so we're closer now, 20 by 24. Okay, so what this does is it kind of welds that together so it's like a group, so like you can't take your H apart. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to break this apart, and then you'll be able to move that H from its background. So then we're going to make one more outline. And instead of doing 0.75, we're actually going to do 0.5. We're going to leave the outline the same, and we're going to make sure that not the center H is selected, but that outside contour. And it's going to give you another outline. So you're going to have like a double outline. So again, we're going to want to resize this for the last time to a 20 by 24. Now, choosing the sides for your letters, again, it is all taste, right? You're going to want it big enough to be seen in the yard. Some people do them larger, some people do them smaller. Again, it's all how you can mount them, get them to stay up in the yard. This is just the size that we like, so this is the size that we use. Okay, so this is how if you were to get a basic letter. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your stroke. Did I break that apart? Nope, sorry guys, I forgot to tell you. So then you're going to break this apart one more time. So then, you see how those are freestanding? Okay, so this is going to be your outline contour right here. And this is going to be your cut line. So you're going to want to leave this a light gray. And the reason for that is because when you're cutting through this material, if you miss this and it's on a white background, it's not going to matter so much because if you're not going to have like a big dark line on your print, and so you definitely won't be able to see it from far away. So right here is your outline of your letter, and I'm going to change it to that purple because we're going to be matching this one, right? And then you're going to have your inside letter. So now I'm going to show you how to make them match here and how I did this. Again, if you want solid letters, you can definitely, say you want to change this to red and do primary colors, so red and blue, that's really cute. You could leave it like that, print it, cut it, and you're done, right? If you want to add some cool designs on the inside, you can, and I'll show you how we did that. This is basically called Power Clip, I believe, in Corel. In Illustrator and Photoshop and things like that, it's called Layer Mask. So again, whatever platform you use, whatever program you use, there's a definitely way to do it. If you guys want a tutorial on design a little bit in depth, let me know in the comments and I can definitely make a video and upload that. So this is the one we had before, right? That we just made a second ago. So I'm going to change this to purple. And all I'm doing is I am left clicking on the color that I want the fill to be. All right. So we want, this fill doesn't really matter because we're going to add that kind of these pictures in there, if you will. If you want that double stroke that I had earlier, what I did was, so I selected the inside H, and if you right-click another color, do you see how it changed that? And all I did was change the width. Okay, but again, we're not going into that because that's not the purpose of this tutorial. But anyway, just so you see how I did that other thing. Because I hate when you have tutorials and people are clicking around and they don't show you. Okay, so now to do what's called a power clip. So if you're starting from a clean letter, meaning you haven't made this into a power clip, even if you go like this, it's not going to give you those menus, right? So you can go here, go to Object, Power Clip, Place Inside. And then you're going to have this arrow. And then you're going to hit this. Boom. Okay? And then now we're back to how these letters are. So now when you're doing a power clip, you have to select the object that you want to put inside this letter first. So like if I hit power clip right now, I go to power clip, it's going to be grayed out. Okay? So you have to select this to go inside that. You can't do it the other way because then it doesn't know what you want inside here, right? So you're going to go Object, Power Clip, Place Inside. You're going to have your arrow. I'm going to click it. And then again, it placed it kind of funky on that one. You're going to hit Edit. And then you're going to scoot it over. And then you're going to hit Finish. And then we're right back to how that H is over there. Okay, so I know that was short and fast, but again, just trying to show you to get to the point to where we can cut the letters. All right, so as long as you have this outside little border, we are good to go. Now, on my Roland VersaCAM, I can print and cut. You don't want to set this up to contour cut your letters because then when you pull the sticker off of the backing, it's all kind of floppy. So when you go to mount it on your, whatever you're going to put it on. So let's say you're putting it on the Coroplast, right? It's harder to mount. It just is. And then it's harder to cut because you have to be super precise. So what I do is I create a rectangle around here. This again is because I have a Roland and it makes my life easier. This is my Roland things. I do a perforated cut, not a contour cut because I want it to cut through the backing and the material. So basically it's giving me a big rectangle with an H printed on it. We're going to send this over to the Roland VersaCAM printer. It's going to print, like I said, a rectangle with an H printed in it. We will mount that to our Coroplast, and then I will show you how to cut it. Okay, so let me go over to the printer, show you how it prints out, and then I will show you how to mount and to cut. That we have our prints printed, and you see how they cut them in the rectangles for me. It's like a big square sticker. I'm going to show you how I mount them. Okay, so I've cut down a piece of white Coroplast to size. Make sure it's clean because it does have a lot of static. It tends to pick up lint and stuff like that. So you see, I cut it to size. Super easy, I just use a utility knife. Okay, now I'm going to get it ready. Now this is a trimmer that only cuts the backing. And what I do is make a little cut, and it gives me that. So then I'm going to line up my print, stick it down, okay, I'm trying to work on a smaller surface so I can show you, so it might be a little hard. Just mount it like that. The air release helps with bubbling, anything like that. Sorry, my hot knife was a little close. I've got it warming up so I can show you the next step. So make sure that there aren't any bubbles. The material that we use really prevents bubbling, and it's awesome. I love it. It's an HP air release vinyl. People make there's a lot of air release out there, so that's kind of what you're looking for. So I don't know if you can see that. There's no bubbles on that print, which is awesome. Okay, so just to show you that again, I'm going to go for the baby. This is that TH on the fourth that we did. Keep doing it. Keep putting it on that hot knife over there. It's smoking, which is kind of funny. All right, so slit. Went off. Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm making sure, because I cut this piece a little small, so I'm kind of living on the edge, make sure that all of the thing is on there. Okay, one important thing to remember is, I don't know if you can see that, Coroplast has flutes. So meaning they have like little holes that go all the way through. You want to make sure that your fluting is going up and down, so that way when you stick your stakes, I'm going to show you some H stakes that we use when you're putting your signs out, that it's going to stick in there, okay? So right, yeah. So that's that. Okay, so now on to the next step. I'm going to show you how to cut. So now to the last step. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the TH because we're doing the fourth. So I needed the fourth, and then I needed HAR and P. So I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm going to do the little one just for the sake of time. The process is exactly the same for big and small letters. One thing I do want to point out, and I actually did it here. I don't know if you can see, like right here. Let me see right here. If you can see right here, there is a gap there, and you definitely want to close that gap, because if you have big open spaces, the letters will kind of flop around, especially if they're little. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you when I get to it, but I'm just going to jump that and then cut this out in the middle. So anyway, we'll get to it. So let me show you how we do it. All right, so let me pause the camera and I'll switch angles and we'll get started. Let's get to cutting. So I just have a piece of cardboard down. It's easy to work with. I do have a self-healing mat underneath on my table, but the hot knife, this is what it is. I got this, like I said, at Michael's. They're very easy to find. I do hold my hot knife like this just because it gives me more leverage to cut, but you are going to have to be pretty careful because if you go too fast, you will pull through it and kind of mess up your sign, and then also you could burn yourself. So y'all be really careful with this. Okay, so do you remember that little, let me put this on its stand so I can show you. Okay, y'all remember that little line that we cut, or we had in the gray? So that's what this is for. So you're basically going to just follow that gray line all the way around. So you're going to go here. Now, because of the way the Coroplast is made, it has those vertical flutes. You kind of are going to need some practice, so I definitely wouldn't start with a finished, a letter that you need finished right away. I would definitely practice first until you kind of get the right amount of pressure, so that way, because what happens is, because they're going up and down, it kind of skips when you're doing it. So you want to be really careful to make sure that you get a nice clean edge. Okay, so then you're going to have like little pieces, and you can actually just pull those off with the heat. Okay, same for here. Now I will tell you, the easiest way to cut this Coroplast is to get your teenage daughter to do it. I'm sorry, that's such a corny mom joke, but yeah, my daughter's in high school, and this is her summer job, is to cut my letters. So it's awesome because I hand them to her, they get done. She's actually very fast at it, and she can knock out a couple of letters in an hour, and those are the big ones. And we do some big like graphics and stuff, because we have what we call signature graphics, where we do like characters and stuff. Now when you are designing your letters, you want to make sure that you close any large gaps, because you don't want it flopping around. Like this is okay because it's kind of short and small, but let's say like right here, this was open, and so I would have two open areas, so it would be wiggling around, and I'll show that to you when we get closer to it. I don't know if y'all can see that. Do you see how like right here, see how there's like a little gap where that H kind of ends right here? I don't know if y'all can see because of the light, but I closed it in Corel to make sure that it's one piece. Again, because you do have this really light gray, so let's say you designed it, it has this open gap and you want to close it. Because you did it in a light gray, you can actually just skip it with your knife and not cut there, and it won't look bad, because obviously you're going to be holding it from far away and you won't be able to see it, right? Okay, let me show you this real quick. So right here, I'm going to jump that just because I don't want that flopping around because I have the top, okay? And let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to connect those lines. So this is what the finished letter will look like. Sometimes you need to go back and clean up like a little bit of this edge right here with your hot knife. You know, I kind of have like a little bumpy there. But really, that's kind of all there is to doing your letters. All right, so let me change angles. Okay, guys, so here is what an H stake looks like. It's literally got two H's, right? And so what I was talking about with the flutes is you want them to go up and down, because what you're going to do is you're going to take these and you're going to slide them into the holes. I'm not going to do it here just because this is not the one I want to use right now. I usually wait, but you would just push that in, because normally I lay it flat and push it in, but for the camera angle you're not going to be able to see it. But basically you're putting it in these holes and then just sliding this to where this is going to touch the bottom. Okay, so they're going to slide all the way through. But that's what an H stake is. So that is my tutorial on how to create yard signs. It's not a hard process once you figure out how to design your letters, and you can get really creative with them and you can do a lot of fun stuff. Again, you need Coroplast, you need printable vinyl that is going to last and stand up to elements. You're going to need some H stakes. You're going to need your hot knife, like a utility knife. And then also this little thing right here is a cutter. It's an Olfa. Let me see, what is it? TS1. I actually found this in a tutorial online. This is the best purchase I've ever made, like 12 bucks. Awesome when you're doing backing. So for stickers, even your regular sticker vinyl, it's awesome to use it for. What else do you need? Yeah, like a utility knife, a box cutter, and then of course some cardboard, and yeah, so that's pretty much all you need. So I hope this helps somebody. If you guys have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I try to look at the comments and answer any questions, but you can also email me. I will put that information in the link below. If you don't have a printer, don't worry, we can help you. We do print the stickers, and then you can do all the rest yourself. You can cut them or whatever. We also do offer the service where we can send you finished letters. So, but yeah, so hopefully this shows you how to do it yourself, and you guys will make a lot of money. All right, thanks guys. Until next time, we'll see you later.